All right, good evening. Welcome to a losers bracket round 6 elimination match between Skele and Jamo. We are already on round 6 of losers bracket. Pretty deep into this thing. Only a handful of people left, and the competition is stiffer than ever. Should be an amazing time. This is part of Speedgaming Online for a Link to Past randomizer. I'm joined, of course, with the amazing MM2 cartridge. I guess you just go by MM2, right?
Yeah, most people call me that.
yeah, it's all good. Yes, of course. Trashing for us is one of the actually admins of the SGL Online, Jesse. Should be a really good crew. Should be a really good time. MM2, I believe you are also Skele's pilot, actually, for Pilot Spoiler, right? So maybe we can get a couple tips here. You know,
Yeah,
give some advice from the booth.
Yeah, Skele told me to bully him for all his routing decisions, for all the routing mistakes he makes.
Okay, perfect.
I'm both hoping as his friend to not see any, and also I will give harsh criticism. No, I won't.
Oh no, we're all friends here. I mean, you know, obviously you can see, you can see them physically, like on the camera. You have Skele and Jamo, two actually really like amazing people. You know, in their own right, you know, as person, but also, you know, as runners. So I would say Skele is probably more, I would say, like recent, kind of more like has been extremely improved so much in the last, let's say, like 2 years. Really like came on strong in the scene. Jamo, I guess he just seemed to come out of nowhere. Apparently there was like a 10-year or something, or 5-10 years hiatus that he didn't actually play Link to the Past, and he came back, and now he's just like, you know, in the finals and semifinals and like deep in every single tournament. It's like, it's a really, really good matchup.
Yeah, I had never really heard of Jamo before, like 2024, but now he's doing great. So
yeah,
I'm happy for him. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
glad to see more people doing well.
Yeah,
fresh made.
Yeah, and especially for something like Spoiler, where it's very, very punishing. As you may have actually seen from the last race that you did with Skele. And also looks like we are actually, you know, already off. You know, the Eastern Palace area already pretty difficult, you know, as is. You are expected to maybe come here on low health, but maybe, you know, at least you have a sword, you know, to your name here. But I do see in this case, for full disclosure, MM2 and I did look at the log, you know, spot checked a couple things. There is something extremely important here in Eastern, which is by far the #1 most often and first sought for item in the entire game.
One might say it makes the game playable.
It is, absolutely, 100%.
Seeing it in like 10 seconds for both runners.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. The unquestionable best thing you want to get in Spoiler, right here, the Pegasus boots for both runners.
That's right.
Skele is going... So, I kind of like this from Skele. They're going to need bombs for something in in fairly soon. Jamo decides to leave. I think he's just going to go to CAC and do a couple things there. I think Skele is going to end up putting his CAC trip off until he's got Darkworld access already.
Okay.
But he's going to want his bombs so that he can get his Pearl in a bit. And I think he might be doing the sick Hyrule Castle idea that I had.
Okay. Right. I think I do remember seeing Moon Pearl in Dark Crossers, or maybe it was Hammer. Something was very important thing over there.
Hammer's in Dark Cross, and then we have required Ether in Zelda Cell.
Okay.
I think Skele's going to go get a Pearl first out of Ice Rock. That's what he wanted the bombs for.
Yeah, actually, and I actually really like this actually from Skele. This is actually something that maybe actually just is maybe like not as like obvious as you first kind of start, but you know, so boots, in addition of course to being, you know, obviously like, you know, the best item, you know, arguably one of the best items in the game, it does actually give you some access to bombable walls. So actually, in fact, if you see something at Saha and you're at Eastern and you somehow don't have bombs, but you have the boots, there is no problem whatsoever, because in that case, as you see, right, Skele found a bomb source. Oh my gosh. We also found a death source, or close to death source. We do not want those things, okay? We have seen so many pugs take their casualties in the Ice Rock Cave area. There's no reason for Skele to also, you know, be part of that.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary.
Yeah, oh my god. Okay, alright. Yeah. You know what's much safer? Right. Jamo and Kakariko. There's no possible we can die, right? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, we can just look over there. So Jamo gets his glove and his hook shot from Kakariko. And now I think Jamo's gonna do what Skele is doing. Skele's getting something out of Waterfall Fairy. He's getting a fairy bottle. Pretty good safety.
Oh, okay.
For the
Yeah.
I wasn't. I won't lie. If I was piloting Skele, I would not have had him get this. But
Okay, Skele, if you watch this back, remember, remember
but
this.
also that would mostly be because I wouldn't have seen it in the log.
Oh, okay. That's understandable. All right. Yeah, sometimes, especially for pilot spoiler, you don't get that very nice, luxurious 15-minute study period, where you can actually take your time with the log. You just kind of, hope you catch the good things. Yeah.
Yeah, but he will get the sword off of Hobo, and I think now he's going to go to Hyrule Castle and get his hammer and ether.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. So you mentioned actually having the boots as one of the the game is now playable. The game is even more playable with a sword. I mean, you don't need a lot of swords. You just need that kind of one. You can actually see in this case kind of how dangerous it was, right? Compare and contrast the Ice Rock Cave area, kind of where Jamo is right now, where Skele was, versus the sword. I mean, you can just dash with impunity, right? As opposed to almost dying.
Jamo is up 2 hearts and a blue mail though on what Skele had. So
yeah, and this is actually very interesting, in terms of like what safeties, both runners value. So like Jamo went to Mini Moldorm Cave, right? And that's where like some of the hearts are, and the blue mail specifically are kind of on the way. Yeah, and right in the lamp. And I don't know in this case if Skele wants to make that investment, right? Obviously, I know that both Skele and Jamo are extremely talented at dark rooms, right? Obviously, the lamp makes it go faster, but is it like 1 minute's worth of investment time that you're willing to spend to go get that lamp on the blue mail? I mean, maybe Jamo says yes, maybe Skele says no. Very interesting.
What's actually funny is Skele got the fairy bottle. Jamo's also getting the fairy bottle. But Skele ditched the fairy because he is going to need to death warp in like a minute here.
Okay.
Actually,
I guess Jamo's going to have to do the same thing, right? Is that...
Yeah, I mean, he needs both the items. And the mirror is not happening for quite a while, so I would presume that Jamo might also be ditching that fairy, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, well, the fairy is going to be out of the bottle one way or the other, right? In this case, Skele willingly released it. Sometimes, I did see the Fairy Revival Club being alive and well in 2024. Getting even more members, as the year progresses, so we'll see. I mean, it is like an extra, I think, like 10 seconds or something for the death animation, the fairy revival, but probably the more painful part is like you gotta death warp, right? Like take the damage and etc.
Yeah,
you're just
go for a second round. Jamo is gonna elect to do Dark Cross first, which could end up being harder because it's a longer death warp. But then he can just save and quit after Zelda Cell, and he will also have the hammer for the whole ball and chain stuff and the couple guards he has to kill. So it could pay off. Oh, he does also have the lamp. So
yeah.
I was actually thinking this a lot easier.
Right. And be able to see the ropes. Yeah. Being able to see where all the ropes are, that's a whole lot nicer. Probably Skele didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, Skele does get the hammer though, so does Jamo, and they will now be continuing their routes. Skele, as I predicted, is going to be going now to CAC. We'll get his glove off the bottle vendor. Then we'll see where the runners go from there.
No, I mean, so this is actually certainly very, very nice, for Skele. Again, you have 15-minute study period, so, you're definitely not necessarily in a, gigantic panic or rush to, to go to Kakariko. And the fact that Skele is here with this last Dark World piece access, right, in Kakariko, if he wants to go to Village of Outcasts, this is an extremely, very convenient place to go to. So, you can save your... And I think I remember the flute being pretty late, as in I think it's like Left Side Swamp or something, and you said the mirror's buried. Yeah, so like... If you can, limit your number of trips to Kakariko, that's, obviously a very major time save for you.
Yeah, I think Skele might be doing potentially Mothula next, because that's Mirror, and then Mater on Argus, and Flute's in Left Swamp, so kind of like a mild priority to get there sooner than later. So, very excellent seed that you got here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, I know the Skele is the runner, for your team for Pilot Spoiler. I mean, but look at how comfy, how he even has 2 extra hearts they didn't have to have, for this Mothula fight. All right, he should be, I mean, it's not. It's an extremely dangerous fight, but you know, I have faith in Skele's abilities. Ice Rod, by the way. I don't think I realized that was there.
Yeah, I wrote it down and then forgot to, and then just decided not to think about it.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's sick. You don't really need to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Skele could have elected to go to the cack shop and buy a red potion and some bombs, which would have depleted his money entirely, but would have made the Mothula fight a fair bit safer.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And you know, I don't know in this case if they're gonna get more money, because right now, like I do see, you know, Jesse has marked Palace of Darkness as a crystal, so we do eventually have to go there. I don't know if this is like considered to be their pod money. You know, maybe they're not willing to, like, maybe they just can't afford the potion to begin with.
Yeah.
We are. Looks like we are not going to Mothula immediately.
Yeah, it looks like Skele. Yeah, it looks like Skele is either going to do Thieves first or wants something in Thieves. But, yeah, I guess there is... I mean, there's, like, something in Thieves, but it's not, like...
It's definitely a crystal. Yes, it is. Yes, it is a 5/6 crystal, no less. So, having... Well, okay, I was going to say, normally, when you have the hammer, you know, you're pretty like mentally, you know, secure in that, like, okay, I'm never gonna leave an item behind because, you know, I can always get the big chest if something is in there. This is spoiler. The hammer is certainly very nice to have. However, in this case, because you have the spoiler log, you don't care if you leave an item behind in there or anything else like that. So the hammer is just kind of nice for offense, but you know, I think what's better probably is going to be that hook shot. Well, we kind of saw what Skele did. That hallway is pretty terrible.
Yeah, that room is great to have the hook shot in. These next couple rooms are also great to have the hook shot in because it one-shots these crickets. So really just stress-free Thieves Town. It is 5 hearts green, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. Also, some very nice bomb management for what. Oh, Jim.
Skele.
Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. You see. Watch Skele. His cool, collected, you know, reaction. He was never worried. If he's not worried, we should not certainly be worried for him.
Yeah,
right. That's how it works. That's when you watch somebody run spoiler.
Yeah, having watched Skele run spoiler many times, I can tell you he's definitely not worried. Not at all. He's done worse things.
Yeah.
Shout out to the one time I made him do 4-heart hammer only cold stare. That was a great time.
That's extremely scary. Okay, we did find out. I didn't actually check this, but apparently the Sun Prize free is a nice 20 rupees. So actually, you know, if you're talking about potentially, you know, buying a potion, we can just get pod money for free. So, you know, if that's the safety that they want to take, you know, which I think is very reasonable, they can really take it. Although, you know, 5 hearts.
I'm worried for Skele. He needs the small key because he needs the thing that Jamo is about to get in Thieves' big chest. He forgot to open blind cell for it.
I see. Okay, well there is a slight. Okay, that's a very important item in the big chest.
Yeah.
Okay, we should not leave that behind. So in this case, looks like a slight, you know, missed route on Skele's part. See, this is why we need pilots. Okay. Pilots there to remind you every single step of the way. You know, for a solo spoiler type of thing, it's like, what's my pilot? My pilot is Notepad, you know, and hope that I wrote down, like, you know, past me has written down everything that I need to do and remember. Yeah,
that's definitely just how it goes in solo spoiler. But pilot spoiler, there's an entire person that is just reminding you of everything.
So, oh yeah.
It's like being Google Maps. Or whatever.
Yeah. Or any type of GPS. When you know that, you know, that the thing is telling you to, like, rerouting, and you hear a little ticking, you know, sound, you're just like, what have I done? Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. But Jamo gets blind cleaned up. Had a little bit of shambles, but managed to survive and thrive. And Skele, just a little bit behind now, is also up that ice rod, but down the lamp. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I mean, like, Jamo definitely looks like he got a little bit of off script. I mean, which is fine. Like, the ultimate thing is that, you know, he survived, right? And spoiler, that's the most important part, is to not die. No, at least not die intentionally, or, you know, accidentally. So, I mean, even though he took a little bit longer, it's much better to spend the extra, let's say like 5 to 10 seconds, right? Or however long it is to sort of ensure your survivability, as opposed to taking the 1.5 to 2 minute return trip and try that thing again.
Yeah, definitely always better to survive if at all possible. Generally, just how the game goes, dying is bad.
Yeah. I mean, and so far, like it's Jamo's, early investment for going into Mini Moldorm. All right. I mean, he did take a little bit of extra time to death warp out of Dark Cross. But however, like the blue mail, even like obviously physically, it's it's a very, very strong safety, but also I think just like mentally, right? When you are confident you're not, going to just, keel over when like the wind blows on you, you just also play a lot more confidently.
Yeah, absolutely. Like having the confidence that making this one mistake won't kill you, basically, or making it extremely likely that the next mistake kills you, then you can play with room to make mistakes, and then go for more aggressive strats and just be more confident. So basically, it's what you were saying.
All right, but speaking of confidence, we are in the Mothula fight. So Jamo's obviously, as you said, a little bit safer with that blue mail, but also like we're gonna hammer Mothula. Very well done on Jamo's side.
Yeah, really well done for Jamo. Let's see how Skele can do. I believe the boss energy is fixed, at least at the start, so they get the same patterns. But Skele takes care of it.
Very well done.
No channels.
Yeah, no, this is super great, and yeah, we can actually see, like one of the reasons why we wanted to, we're strongly motivated to rush Mothula. Not necessarily that you want to obviously do this fight, but I think most people. Oh, there's half magic here in the mushroom spot. Oh well,
nice.
That's also an extremely nice safety.
Yeah, that's actually sick routing, because the next place they want to go is the mountain, so they can just mirror here and run around and get the half magic, and then climb the mountain next.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
see, these are I think like the it's not little things, but it's definitely like one of those things where when you don't have a flute, the overworld routing obviously like matters a whole lot more, because it just all your decisions get kind of amplified, because it's like if you forget something, I need to go to this location, it's a flute away, it's fine, right? Just call the flute and then you can just go, right? But here you actually have to like, you can, if you start always a cac, or always a saying, you gotta run everywhere. At least you're running, but it can actually, you can bleed or save a lot of time. So it's really actually good to see this.
Yeah, honestly, I prefer no flute seeds, just because it makes that overworld routing so much interesting, because you can't count on having a flute for everything, but it opens just up a lot of different dungeon routing possibilities, or really inter-dungeon routing possibilities.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, both runners up the mountain now. Jamo headed into the portal before Hera. Both runners also had the bombos off of Old Man, and now we're going to be doing Hera and getting something out of that, and then probably Swamp will be the next thing.
Yeah, I do see. Well, we're gonna need those flippers. But yeah, I was gonna say like Bombos also makes. When I see Bombos and Sword and Fire Rod, I have been told that Cold Steer is free. So, I have faith in these guys to be able to, take down an extremely dangerous boss fight. Although, okay, so this is also another thing I saw Jamo kind of be able to have versus Skele. So health is gonna not too bad, but the blue mail also, like, because Jamo only takes half a heart of damage from Herapod, especially doing the bomb strat, like, especially Death Mountain can, if it wrecks you, you could be a little bit of trouble, doing Herapod.
Yeah.
Because you may not have the health to do it. And Jamo, of course, having blue mail makes things a lot more, safer. Kind of guarantees your entry up.
Yeah, I mean, the real backup, if you're on one heart, is to do Spin Speed Herapod, but it's less consistent than the Bomb Herapod, which is really like you should be getting it 99% of the time at this point with the Breadcoon pot setup, whatever it's called, I don't even know.
Right. Like this setup, like the bomb setup here, is extremely consistent, and it's just like kind of depends on how fast you are with hook speed. Everyone, you play however you play the game however you like to, right? Because sometimes people are just more comfortable with another one, or some people just like the regular Parapod. But still, all right, Moldorm is down. for both Skele and Jamo. Nice. This hammer is really getting a lot of usage here, which is great to see. Good to see. I would like Tempered Sword, but you know, beggars can't be choosers and spoilers sometimes. You know, you play with the hand that you're dealt.
Yeah. So the situation we're in right now is we've got a bunch of stuff in Swamp, but we've also got some swords in other dungeons that I think Skele is going to be going for those first, even without the flute. So I think I'm a fan of what Skele is doing. I don't know exactly what is Jamo just getting those 2 hearts? Nice.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, Jamo certainly seems, you know, especially contrasting kind of what Skele's, I won't say style, but maybe, you know, what his comfort level is, or maybe, you know, what his impetus is. Look, you know, Jamo has definitely picked up a lot more safeties than Skele has. 2 heart containers in Hype Cave, at least for now. Maybe Skele will, you know, think that self shield worth it. But also, you know, specifically, like, he went to Mini Moldorm, he got the lamp and the blue mail, and, you know, so...
I mean, with where the swords are, and where the and like the fact that he has half magic, I wouldn't expect Skele to elect to get those heart containers in Hype Cave if I was piloting him. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, so I'm curious now, Emma too. Like, do you tell Skele like where these safeties are, or do you just kind of like be like, okay, we're going to Swamp, and then you know you just never mention Hype Cave as 2 heart containers?
Probably I tell him, we're going to Swamp, and then like while he's going to Swamp, I tell him, by the way, if you want, there's 2 heart containers in Hype Cave, but the safeties are never the point of the route.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. You know, sometimes you know, depending if you think it's practice, it's like, okay, you know, this is practice, we're not getting the heart containers. Skip it, we're behind. We can't get the heart containers.
Yeah, exactly. Fine. It really just depends on your place in the race in like in an actual tournament like this. So yeah, it's definitely just up to whatever the runner wants to do, but I definitely see like a different playstyle from Jamo. Jamo really just thinking like, I'm going to get all the safeties, and I'm not going to die, and I'm not going to have shambles because I'm on low health, and if I lose because my opponent played well, then so be it.
Yeah,
I honestly have nothing but respect for that style of play. It's definitely not like what I do, but it's definitely equally as valid as anything else.
Oh yeah. We talked about, you know, kind of like being playing spoiler. Probably the best thing you can do for yourself is to be as honest as possible to yourself. Like, if you are not comfortable with like some low percent, you know, fight, like, okay, Mothula is obviously a very good example. Cold Stare, you know, anything, you know, stuff like this. If you need that extra safety, don't go in thinking like, oh, I'll be fine on Fighter's Sword 5 hearts. You know, if you are not, you know, don't have that high of a success rate, it actually is probably better for you to go, you know, buy another potion, right? Or
Absolutely.
Something, right? Yeah.
Like, the fact of the matter is, if the safety is going to save you from dying, then get the safety.
Yes.
Like, I think I had
There's no pride in spoiler.
Get the cave out of... Yeah, exactly. There's no pride in going for a 4-heart Fighter Sword Vitreous with no safeties at all and then dying. Like, you can just go to Hype Cave and get your cape or whatever the case may be. But I think that was what I had Skele do in a practice or something.
Yeah,
no, that was game 1 the other day. But anyways, yeah, the point is, like, if it's gonna save time, safeties are just like any other item. If you can get it and it will save time on the time it costs you to actually get the item in the first place, then you should just get the item. This is how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, well, speaking of items, so we just see Jamo pick up food on Left Side Swamp. You know, at least it was the better chest of Left Side Swamp, you know, as we didn't hit that many switches, and, you know, we didn't have to go get to the big key chest, blah, 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 but it actually does look like, you know, we ran past Waterfall, so I didn't actually check, but I do see the swamp as a pendant, but apparently we're gonna go beat Argus on Fighter Sword.
Yeah. So you're doing Argus fairly soon, whether you like it or not. But I like Skele's call to do pod first, because you get to have a faster Argus fight with the extra sword. We'd love to have Tempered, but it's really not happening, because there are 2 swords behind Mitts, and you'll never get...
Right, we don't have Mitts yet, I forgot. What are these? I completely forgot about that. Actually, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that is a thing. No, Jesse, by the way, you know, he's been tracking everything, very accurate, very up to date. I just never looked at the tracker.
Yeah. Jesse's doing all this work for us, and you're not even looking.
I know. I'm sorry.
I can't believe
it. We appreciate all the things you do for us.
It's true.
Yeah, by the way, and yeah, so like right, so you can kind of see like, you know, Skele and Jamo's maybe comfort level playstyles, right? Like, you know, as you said, like Skele really prioritized in this case like Master Sword, and that will definitely give, you know, Jamo had a very nice fighter sword. Argus though, almost for phase 2.
Yeah,
very
like
clean
definitely
fights.
a really solid fight. And there's the mitts off Argus for Jamo.
Ooh. Oh, okay, so mitts are on Argus. And yeah, Jamo actually, so this is also another thing that can actually save you like 10 to 15 seconds, you know, type of thing. Jamo looks like he doesn't care about like the magic or health refill. If you only need the item, just save and quit out. You don't need to go get the pendant, you know, unless it's like you gotta go pull pet or something. Save yourself the cutscene, you know, and like the magic and health refill or whatever. That's precious time you don't want to give up to your opponent.
Yeah, this is a speedrun after all, so if you don't really want the magic refill, you don't have to go get it. But yeah, so now probably the runners are going to trade places in some form or another. Jamo likely will get the ice rod off of Sick Kid next.
He has not gotten it. That's a great reminder.
Yeah, as Skele has already done. But yeah, Skele now going to do Swamp for his mitts. Jamo, I wouldn't be surprised if he does Pod next for his master, and then probably just finish out the rest of the dungeons. We will have to do an extra dungeon beyond the 7 crystals for undisclosed reasons. We'll find out when we get there.
Oh well, actually, okay. So we've already pretty much done one whole extra dungeon, which is Swamp, which Skele's gonna do now. So this okay.
Do them.
Yeah. Well, you normally think like, okay, so you know, compare the seed, you know, with the spoiler versus with the spoiler log versus, you know, without a spoiler log. You're playing blind, right? Like, are you kind of, you know, like how bad is the seed? You're gonna go all the way to Pendant Argus, you know, for your mitts apparently. Will you get funneled in there eventually? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
mitts that you probably do. The real bad thing, I think, is the fact that left side swamp is also required. So if you kill Argus first, you get your mitts and your world's open, then fairly likely that
that's a great point.
The flute if you're playing this blind. So yeah, this really just does have shamble potential, I think. Skele doing a
okay.
I don't.
Skele's smiling, realizing that he's giving us some exclusive new content on how to do Specky Clip. Maybe not intended, but you know. By the way, I like this parody. We see both Skele and Jamo in pendant dungeons. This is it's okay. We know it's not a pet seed because Jamo just left the pendant right from Swamp.
Yeah.
So it's almost an all dungeon seed.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we've been to all the dungeons.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because boots were in Eastern, and then we have flute mitts in Swamp, and then we have undisclosed item behind Landmo. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Eastern technically is required because, you know, we just see boots there, and we saw the big key on the torch, you know, for desert. So like we're here beating Lamos means that yes, we had to go to all the pendant dungeons, not as far into Eastern because at least it was just Cannibal Chest, the first one.
Yeah.
Looks like
you can migrate up Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aga Tower can be left out. I'm sorry to all the Aga Tower employers. All three of you.
I think there were so many different like ways people were trying to like exclude Aga Tower, you know, from like, you know, it's like, what do you call this? All dungeons except Aga Tower, you know, type of thing that I only want to do, you know, like the pendant dungeons and the crystal dungeons and GT. I don't want to do Aga.
All prizes.
All prizes, yeah.
Yeah, it does actually mean you have to collect the prizes, as the name suggests. But I mean, there's a million ways you could call that thing.
Yeah.
Now, Jamo will get to do a little bit more of efficient routing of the overworld here, because we will get to turn this green pendant in, and we'll see what it is in just a moment. get the red king.
Oh, it's Mario. How about that?
Yeah. How about that, indeed?
How about that? Well, okay, actually, this is actually, talk about actually being a little bit efficient. So being, at a cost of 1 sword, we can actually use Samaria here in pod. I don't know, I didn't quite catch what Skele's like pod routing is, but if he has to do like the stair extension, he can do the stair extension in pod, like place down the Samaria block and kind of like run to the back without hitting the switch. He can also hit the, place the switch down or block down to go to the backup pod. Like these are also like really nice, like minor, but pretty significant time saves that you can actually get with Samaria, which Skele was not able to get. So it's actually a very nice, interesting trade-off,
Yeah, absolutely. The Argus time save and a little bit of like Swamp Dungeon time save for having Master Sword for this versus the overworld time save and like potential pod routing time save for Jamo. So yeah, like the fact that you don't get luck time save on item placement in spoiler, it really means you can show bear the execution and the routing choices time save in a situation like this. So it's really neat.
Oh yeah. No, this is actually like the really fun part. Well, one of the fun parts, but very nice phase 2 there on Skele's side. I like the pair. I also like the complementary. Like Skele used Ice Rod, Jamo used Fire Rod. It's like it's like we're looking at Trinex right now. Just put a giant turtle, in the middle of the screen, and then see right there, right? Jamo got to save some time going to the backup pod, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have the cape yet, but he will have to get an extra key if he wants to go through the front. I think that's doable for him, right? Sure.
I didn't look at the dungeon layout at all. I'm sure Jamo has kind of looked at this already.
I'm sure he has a plan. But yeah, Skele uses the Ice Rod on Argus, and I couldn't believe it the first time I saw it. But
these guys are good.
Apparently those people exist.
Yeah. Well, I think, okay, I've also heard that the Ice Rod is actually much more manageable because you can spam the Ice Rod, just kind of like what Skele was doing. And so if you kind of be able to get Argus trapped, in like a corner, it's, just like blazingly fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really messed around with it because I just got comfy with Fire Rod.
Okay. All right. Well, really Jesse's saying Ice Rod time is a little easier, potentially. I mean, yeah, but very, very much potentially,
Yeah.
I will take all your words for it to be able to have a good phase 2. All right.
But yeah, now Jamo gonna finish up pod and Skele just starting his desert here. So the runners will sync up once they're done with their current dungeons. My guess is that Jamo will be a little bit ahead because Skele just also have to turn that green pen in for the Samaria. But then after that, it'll be just straight up race to complete the last 3 dungeons, Ice Mire TR.
Did you happen to see where the other bow is, out of curiosity? I don't know if you were getting silvers or not.
I looked it up. It is in Butt Crack Nowhere. It's on Bumper Ledge.
Well,
so
we are most likely not getting that. Okay, I'm gonna assume that we're gonna get Tempered Sword at some point. So like, it's either gonna be probably Tempered or silvers. I mean, it could be Master Shoveless. Kind of depends on how desperate the situation is.
We're getting tempered.
Okay.
We're very much getting tempered.
Okay. If we're gonna get tempered, then we're probably not gonna see those silvers. I can't imagine silver saving enough time in this case, especially them being on Bumper Ledge. And we've already been to like Skull Woods and Thieves Town. Like that entire area is no longer available to us.
Yeah. Tempered is costing them. There's like a total of 10 seconds to actually get. Strahd is so cursed. I can't believe Skele goes for it.
No.
Dapping under that top row of
right. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Jamo looks like he kind of missed spin speed. This is gonna actually cost him a little bit of time on Helma, because I think he was like trying to like slash the mask off, which was not helpful. We do need the hammer.
That is not how the game works. Funnily enough, but does end up finishing Helma off. Not really happy with how it went though, but it's how.
Yeah. I mean, but you're actually talking about potentially, Jamo. I mean, it's definitely a very, well, I was gonna say neck and neck race, but then we're not gonna talk about Trinex right now. But yes, but like the fact that Jamo, if he had maybe like a little faster Helmasaur fight, things got a little bit smoother for him. Like he would have a little bit more of a buffer. But I mean, like look at how close things are, right? Jamo's just kind of mirror out to the light world, and then we pretty much have everything. That's like we pretty much have that. Like Skele and Jamo's have pretty much done the same thing. So we just have, yeah, as you mentioned, like three crystal dungeons left to go, and then GT, you know, and
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah, Jamo is currently 7 seconds ahead, plus the lamp time save off their flute fade out. So
7 seconds is nothing. Like literally
yeah,
nothing.
Since the Thief Myth ballot that Skele had, like that was probably like 20 seconds, honestly, maybe more.
Oh,
so that's
weird.
like,
How far did he get?
He went up the stairs after the big block room, then had to turn around and go to blind cell.
Okay, yeah, that's. Oh man, that's a lot of time.
Yeah,
I'm just even like. Yeah, because like screen transitions, every screen transition costs 3 seconds, and the underworld 3.5, and then like stairs cost more time as well because you gotta go, you know, because that's like a manual stair, you know, and then plus you gotta actually go through the rooms and stuff. Like that's a lot of.
Yeah,
it's non-trivial. So.
Yeah, Jamo having a little bit of icebreaker shambles though.
Ooh, all right. Well, this. Okay, well, I should see that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. And we actually see that both Skele and Jamo are not hitting the switch. Like they didn't go backward, which tells me that, well, they obviously picked up the big key in the vanilla location, but there's probably a small key somewhere here, which will save you time. You know, you don't have to go hit the switch.
Yeah, well, we're gonna want the big key for another reason.
Oh, okay. Well, even better.
Yeah. Yeah, we get 2 keys here.
Free small key.
Yeah, I'll have to see it. And yeah, now we're gonna go to the big chest for the second best item in the game. Oh, Jamo has a little bit of execution shambles.
Oh my gosh, dude! Look how close this is. I mean, you said 7 seconds going into Ice Palace. Yeah. We are like 3 seconds ish.
Yeah, this is like 2 seconds at most.
Yeah, like literally, like the difference. Yeah. Oh, Skele! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, suddenly Jamo might be a little bit more comfortable. Skele now is in one-hit death mode, KO.
Yeah.
Okay, he should be okay because, you know, we do have Fire Rod and we do have Tempered Sword and we do even Bombos. Like we can make this, you know, a safe fight. That being said, Jamo is like at like full health, full everything. He will just power through a cold stare like it's nothing.
Yeah, Skele's definitely gonna end up taking this way safer. He does have that cape, so can just use that to its fullest extent. But it does have a limited amount of magic to use. So a little bit scary.
Yeah, but you can actually see, like, so at the cost of, you know, oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay, we did it. We
lived. We survived.
Yeah. But you're gonna see maybe so we can kind of maybe see Skele's looking, you know, maybe over a little bit. Like, so in spoiler, you are allowed to watch your opponent. You're allowed to watch the restream. I think he's maybe kind of seeing, you know, literally within, you know, seconds, single-digit seconds going to Ice Palace, right? That cold stare fight was, you know, it definitely carved out a pretty significant buffer, you know, for Jamo.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 20 seconds now, between the two runners, just under like 18 seconds. So, and also Jamo will save time in Darkmire, because he has the lamp. The lamp and the armor were both in Mini Molded Cave, so yeah, Jamo's really just had a really solid run all around. Just like a couple tiny execution mistakes, a little bit of a slower route just because he didn't like to pick up a bunch of safeties and do slower routes to get those safeties in, but it's definitely paid off. Has really had clean boss fights all around, and that's definitely just paid off for him so far. So we'll see if Skele can catch up or if Jamo can maintain this lead. Skele misses the one cycle in Mire Shaft. I think that's going to be a little bit more time loss to Jamo, but we'll see if Jamo can pull this hover off.
Well, all right. Well, suddenly, you know, we got a little bit of execution divergence. I don't know if Skele's also willing to cover this. Oh, Jamo.
Skele's probably going to give it a try, is my guess. But yeah. But even if he just bails on it right now, he will save time on Jamo. Oh, he's going to try?
Okay, here we go. Right. Here we go with the hover. Oh, Skele's doing quite well.
Let's go.
All right.
Well
Well,
done, Skele.
suddenly the tides have turned using those boots. You actually see. Oh, that's actually a really nice demonstration between how much time actually that hover can save. You know,
Yeah.
between you can get it or versus you have to kind of go all the way around.
Yeah, and now we get to see how much time the lamp saves back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Skele was like, I think he kind of did like a more, I guess like established strat and kind of like seeing where all like the fireballs shooting. Can't really see obviously him because there's no lamp, but you know it's like a nice hookshot strat to be able to consistently, you know, be able to get to the pot and the switch and blah 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 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Looks like though we know spooky, so for Skele, but there was spooky for Jamo. You can definitely see the kind of the time kind of given a little bit back and coupled with, you know, as you mentioned, the lamp.
Because Skele went up to the room with a switch and failed the switch and had to go back. So.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the dark transitions are even slower, so it's going to lose a little bit more time on that.
Mm-hmm.
It does have the cape to pull out for this fight, so.
Yeah, especially with 2 hearts going in. Yeah, I think you're just gonna activate the cape. Is it possible to get a 1 cycle? I don't know. Or is it a 0 cycle? The cape might be too slow. That was like that was the main concern because like timing might be too tight. But you know, it's fine. We only got 1 lightning, but you know, we already know it is like a looks like a boss plus crystal catch difference.
Like Skele definitely made up time in Mire off the hover.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks like it was like 32 at the
16.
old man. Yeah, 39, 32. All right, let's see in this case where Skele. Oh, we stole the mirror. Oh, I forgot about the mirror.
Yeah,
oh,
Skele
okay.
mirror and flute instead of saving quitting. Potentially forgot about his old man saving quit, or just think, or is this faster?
So I think I've been told that if you are saving quitting to either Link's house or the old man, like if that's where your starting point is, you should save and quit there as opposed to fluting because it does.
Yeah.
Because you have your mirror plus flute versus like save and quit, which is combined. I think is slower. Although Gamma says that mirroring is rather than flute.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Gamma's message. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, right, because I think it's mirror plus flute, which is like I think combined of like 11 seconds or maybe 10 seconds, plus versus save and quit, which I think is like 6 or 7, something like that. I don't have, but it's a minor difference, but it is, you know, again, you know, 2 seconds is 2 seconds, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Jamo like pretty clean Death Mountain Overworld. Skele also fairly clean Death Mountain Overworld. So we'll see how this TR goes for the both of them.
Yeah, we can actually definitely see quite the difference though in terms of just like health. Skele is on 5 hearts green mail again. You know, this is great practice for pilot spoiler. Okay, you should be proud of your runner.
I am.
Being able to survive like this. You know, Jamo, you know, just rocking it. You know, what is it? 8 hearts in this case.
Yeah,
8 hearts blue
8
mail.
hearts blue. Yeah. Jamo's living the life.
Oh yeah, plus lamp. All right. So
absolutely. 8 hearts blue and lamp versus 5 hearts green no lamp. I have a feeling I know which one I would make Skele do. And I really hope we're not getting Gold Sword, because if they're going there, I have a lot of questions. But
okay, I didn't see where the last sword is.
Yeah, it's TR.
I'm assuming it's not here. It's sorry, where is it?
It's TR Big Chest.
Oh, no, we're not going outside for this.
Yeah. Surely not.
Would silvers be worth it if it's TR Big Chest? How much does it cost to go outside? I don't remember. It might be.
Yeah, I mean...
Maybe barely. Well, okay. Time save, maybe raw time save. Maybe it's about even. Or maybe it could be a little worse. But I mean, like, it kind of depends, again, you know, if you want to mitigate a lot of... Oh no, Jamo!
Jamo! Oh no!
We got knocked up by the bar. Suddenly, we're... That costs a lot of time. Oh no, Skele!
Skele, you don't do that!
Oh!
You just let him hit you!
Okay, alright, okay, lesson learned. Okay, no slashing allowed. Okay, this is why we can't get gold sword, because all we're gonna do is just use the sword. Okay, do not use the sword on conveyor belt. Alright, use a fire rod. You can use the hook shot. Not the sword, okay? That's not allowed.
Yeah.
That is so close to those chops. Just
living on the edge there.
Yeah, literally on the brim of a chomp. Like.
Yep. Yeah, if that chomp moved, then he was dead. But he does live to fight another day. Continue this Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and I really wish that the fairy in a bottle, like in Waterfall, wasn't so early because like very early on, right? Like these guys got the fairy in a bottle and then had to immediately release it, basically, because we were going to Hyrule Castle to go Death Warp, right? But I mean, like the fairy in the bottle, is a huge safety. As in, like it's the best safety you'll never use because you always have that confidence, like if I die, I have a fairy, right? And then I'll just be at back full health. So you can just play as confidently as you normally would, right? And then if you use it, he's like, hey, I'm back at full health, and I can just do whatever. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fairy in the bottle is really, really good safety, except that in this race, then the runners couldn't use it. But yeah, Skele, only a little bit scared, but not going to lose much time, assuming he doesn't mess up in this round.
Again, we can see some pretty, stark difference, between
Skele's lost.
Between Skele and Jamo's comfort level. Yeah, this is. I mean, and again, like. Especially if you're kind of at Skele and Jamo's kind of like skill level, you just kind of assume that you really don't, need the lamp. I don't know like what the threshold is, for people, because it's a mini Moldorm cave, right? It is an investment, but it's not like the worst investment you can make for the lamp. I mean, sometimes things happen in the dark. It's it's not Vegas. What you can't see will hurt you, or send you astray. It's not a nice ice strat there on Skele's side.
That's such a sick strat.
It is. Okay, all right, we're gonna see a nice ice rod action. I've heard that the ice rod only really works, it has maximum efficiency if you have temper sword only. Otherwise, if you're on master sword, it never ever works, and then you run out of magic, and then you're just very sad.
I believe it.
Nice try to spice on both Jamo and Skele's side.
Nice phase 1. Yes, Jamo done with phase 2 now.
Yeah, nice quick. No, again, I don't. Well, looks like Skele's off to the side. May not be able to get that quick spin in. But yeah, again, Jamo, like he has 5 hearts blue mail. He is absolutely able to take a hit. And so if you have the confidence, you can go for the quick kill.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Skele just in the I'm in 1 hit KO mindset decided to release that spin early and had to deal with the consequences, but did not take it up, and will continue on to. Oh no!
Yeah, you see, you can see. I mean, this is one of the greatest things about having Cam on. Not only of course for SGL, but also just in general, right? We have you can actually just see the humans behind the controller, right? You see the reactions of like, I can't believe I'm messing this up, dude.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. And it's definitely just infuriating when you just mess something up that's trivial. But yeah, especially, it's great to see the reactions.
Especially if it's this close too,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
This is definitely like a barn burner. Yeah, so get the funny numbers in. I'm gonna guess
9.
2.
2?
No, I'm guessing.
Okay, how many small keys are we picking up? Before this. We have GT routing divergence. Holy cow! You do not see this as spoiler.
Yeah, this is actually I have a feeling that Jamo might be doing this immediately after, but
all right, okay. GT. All right, okay. Still very interesting. I did not expect an immediate divergence in GT.
Yeah.
Oh, we're also getting Jamo actually picking up arrows. So he also did this in Waterfall as well. Like Skele just got the bottle on the right chest, and then Jamo actually ended up getting arrows from the left chest as well.
Yeah,
pretty nice to be able to have.
Yeah, it's definitely like a good safety, but also when the race is this close, you really need to just don't want to waste any time when at all possible, and that includes opening like the extra chest in a 2-room chest. Well, 2-chest room. I can speak words in the English language.
Yeah. It is pretty interesting. I mean, so like having the extra ammunition, like Jamo was down to like 10-ish arrows or something, so got another 10, kind of put him off at 20. Skele had 18 going in, and having these arrows in GT, I mean, just having a ranged weapon in general is actually quite nice. You don't want sword beams because sword beams will more likely not cancel out your tempered sword damage because the game likes to, take priority over certain things, and you don't want those beams. So having a ranged weapon to be able to kill Zyzax, just reach from, because every single one of these enemies just decides to jump away from you, and so like because we are not friendly or something, so whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely just nice to have alternate options, like bow for this room, Skele's in, Fire Rod for the next couple rooms, and then Tempered's a great weapon, but a lot of other Y items are really good at what they do. So
yeah, I actually really like that. I mean, so one of the nice, obviously, like half magic is an extreme luxury. Obviously very good safety and offensive weapon, but also like we get to see both Skele and Jamo killing Stalfoses with with the Fire Rod, one shot, very quick kill, no burning animation, and more or less something you can actually afford to do with half magic.
Yeah, I think both runners got the 1 cycle in land mode too, so very nice.
Really great. It's been very good gauntlets from both Skele and Jim. I was actually a little bit worried about Skele because he started G2 or G1 with sword beams. You can kind of see he had to take a little bit of extra slashes, but then he lost them, and then things were good again. So.
Yeah, there's a bonk for Jamo, which is a little bit of time Skele can make up.
Yeah.
Oh, getting out on Food's the
bridge. That bridge is one of the most terrifying rooms.
Yeah, Food's the bridge is terrifying.
This is also one of the things that I feel like it's harder to showcase, like just how good Skele and Jamo are. They're literally keeping pace with each other, but they're like, it's at a very high level. So normally you can kind of see like one way to see how good a person is by giving them a comparison of like someone who's like less good, right, or like less experienced. Like the fact that these guys are basically just within each other the entire time in GT, right? Like, and they're blazing through. I mean, it's just hard to emphasize or like really like showcase like just how good they are.
Yeah, it just becomes difficult to like understand how good players are.
Yeah,
at a certain threshold.
Yeah, it's like when you watch like an NBA basketball game, everyone looks about the same, right? But then you realize that like they're all like 6'6" and taller, and you're just like, oh, I see.
Yeah, it's how it's impossible to comprehend the size of like a billion. It's just so big. Yeah, like not that it's impossible to comprehend how good the runners are, but
there's a lot of practice.
It's hard to understand unless you play the game, I guess.
Yeah.
But Jamo is going to be first into Aga too, so we'll look at the same cycles for both runners. So
that's a nice
Jamo gets 3.
Yeah, and Aga, nice triple for Skele.
If you game, you could get a 2 cycle here.
Yeah.
Oh, so
not
close.
Quite. Yeah. I think one cycle for Aga is like 6 seconds.
Yes.
But exactly. Both of them are both of them got 3 cycle. Okay. Well, the game is. I mean, we have one boss fight left to go. It is the most difficult boss fight, arguably, of the entire game because it is the final one. They gotta nail their torchless. They gotta nail their triples. They gotta get the 1-on-1. These, and Jamo, I will say, has a maybe slightly easier time because he does have the lamp. But I do have confidence in Skele's Fire Rod torchless. Yeah.
So I think Jamo's 1 cycle ahead on phase 4, assuming they both hit the 1-on-1. Skele needs to have a perfect silverless and Jamo to mess up once. Oh, this is bad.
Are we gonna have enough? Skele, I'm worried.
I don't think this is enough. Yeah, this is the 2nd cycle. This is basically the race here.
That is really unfortunate. The fact that he missed the spin. Yeah, it's okay. It's not over. It's not over. We gotta get through phase 3, and then we're gonna see in this case anyone can give up time in phase 4. I don't expect Skele or Jamo to drop that many spins, but things can happen.
Yeah, it's a fair bit. Jamo going for the double spin, really nice, and gets the
he has lamp. I think you can kind of afford that.
Yeah, he also got really favorable patterns for the double spin, but still, not trivial to execute at all. You have to be aware of the patterns and then react to it and make the call to do it. So, yeah, very.
Oh,
it's Skele,
Skelly!
isn't it? Yeah.
I think maybe he was worried that he didn't have enough magic because he didn't have the lamp. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, it turns out in this case, the lamp was an extremely good investment, you know, for Jamo. Definitely very much worth a minute. Or however long it took in this case to get the lamp from Mini Moldarm.
Yeah, it does seem to be how it goes, but Jamo will be crossing that bridge and defeating Ganon, restoring PS to Hyrule, whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
And
big GG's to Jamo. You know, again, I mean, like, you see the giant relief on his face. Oh!
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well done, Jamo. I mean, well played. I mean, you know, like, look how happy he is, you know? It's great.
Yeah, we'll be finishing in first place with an official race time at GG time of 53 minutes and 25 seconds.
Alright, looks like we are also joined by Jamo. GG's.
GG's.
Yo, GG.
So, pretty relieved, you know, from the race.
Oh my god, man. My hands are shaking so much.
Were you watching, like, Skele or anything like that at all, or were you just kind of playing your game?
No, yeah, I mean, I definitely saw that it looked like the whole end game was pretty close. But then, yeah, when I messed up that, like, last hit of Ganon, messed up the cycle at the end there. I was so worried that I lost off of that, but then I saw him, like, climbing up the pyramid, so he must have fallen, I guess, on Ganon.
Yeah, he missed Torch Glitch. Well, he missed the 1-1, which is kind of the race, and then he missed Torch Glitch, and then he missed it again now on his refight.
Okay, so it's just a disaster. I don't blame him, because my hands were shaking so much, like, that's what I thought was going to happen to me, too.
Yeah. That Aga 2 was really interesting, because I think if you play, like, super well, you can get a 2 cycle on that Aga 2.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had the 2
yeah.
cycle, I just, like, failed the turn left and slash, I choked it.
Yeah. It's just how it goes, but I think, like, Skele was exactly behind 1 Ganon cycle entering Ganon, but speaking of, we are joined by Skele, so GG's to both of you.
Yo, Skele, GG's?
GG's.
GG.
It was super close. Like, I mean, like you also probably saw. You know, I'm assuming you were watching, but just kind of unfortunate what happened with, because I think it was pretty, like, until you missed Torch Ghost, I think it was literally, like, you know, within probably 2 Ganon spins.
Yeah, it was definitely within 1, I think, like, barely, but yeah, just unfortunate how the end game happened.
I don't know. After my race against Specs, it didn't feel very close. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I did have a pretty good Ganon, so except the very end I messed up. But yeah, I mean, if you missed 1+1, I probably was already going to be ahead after that point. But my god, I was so nervous. I'm sure you were as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I was feeling kind of crappy the whole time, because the thing is, I had a different route planned out before we started, and then I had a couple of ideas on the fly, and then I realized they were just way worse than my original plan anyway, so I was a little bit frustrated with myself the whole time.
Yeah,
was that what happened in Thieves Town?
No, that was just me forgetting something.
Okay.
It's more, I shouldn't have gone to pod as early as I did, and also I misread the key layout in pod. So, but I guess it looks like we did the same route anyway. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I did notice you going to pod early. I didn't do pod early. I did it along with, like, Mirror for Saha, along with pod.
Yeah, that's what I definitely should have done, and that was my original plan. It's just, for some reason, I thought having Master Sword would help more than it really did.
Yeah, you know, I thought about that briefly. Like, when I saw you doing that, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should have done that for the Master Sword. But then I remembered, like, no, I did this so I can mirror for Saha and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that same thing and saying it on restream, but I think doing Swamp first was better in that scenario, just because assuming your Fighter Sword Argus is going to be fine, then
Yeah, Fighter's not that much different than Master Sword, although all my boss fights were pretty terrible. I was honestly so nervous the whole siege. My execution was super shaky. I was like, messed up a lot of boss fights.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But yeah, the seed was really tough to route though. I mean, I was already feeling very flustered when the seed started because I was like barely getting my route in time and I wasn't sure about a lot of things. And like the main thing was I went to CAC right away when I would have rather like saved CAC until I'm going to Dark World, because like I couldn't really find a great way to do like mini Moldorm along the way. But then you also could have skipped mini Moldorm and knock out the lamp, but like I wanted it for Dark Cross. I don't know. The early game was weird.
Yeah. The big thing for me was I completely forgot I needed bombs. So I just went to Eastern immediately and got boots, because my next plan after that was to do Ice Rod Cave and then get a sword. But then I was like, wait, I need a bomb for Ice Rod Cave. So what I did was I just
Yeah.
left Eastern and then I did Saha with boots.
Yeah,
Which
I think that was a
probably-
good call.
Oh, because
I don't-
Saha's had 3 bombs in it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. I mean, I did Eastern Rush as well. I think you had to do that for sure for the boots.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh,
yeah, it was like I wanted to do mini Moldorm along the way to also make Dark Cross easier. But then, yeah, I don't know if that was smart. So like, I was like 3 bombs are not enough. So then I was like, if I just go to CAC, I can have hooked out for Dark Cross and buy bombs, I guess. But that was also pretty slow, so I didn't feel good about that at all.
Yeah, I just never did mini Moldarm.
Oh, you
It
didn't
would have
even
been
get one.
nice,
I see.
but I just
Yeah.
couldn't find a time that made it feel like it was, especially with the Fire Rod being so free and half magic
Yeah,
also
yeah.
being pretty easy to get.
Yeah, that half magic actually, I mean, I didn't even know where that was. I did feel like I didn't have time to check for safeties, but right after Skullwoods, I just made a split-second decision to. I was like, oh, I forgot I get the mirror here, so I can actually just mirror, grab half magic, go to mountains. So that worked out nicely.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
decided that at the very last second after Skullwoods.
Yeah,
I
I
did
love
that.
the Skull was into half magic into mountain climb routing, because it's just a great showcase of fluteless routing and spoiler.
Yeah, I almost missed that.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, really exciting race from the both of you. Just a lot of like minor route divergences, but not a lot of major ones. So we could talk about a lot of different stuff. So definitely GG's. So Jamo, with being the winner in this race, you will advance to losers round 7, losers final. No, losers semis, and you'll be playing the winner of Gamma and Andy. I don't know when they're playing, but that'll definitely be. Both of those will be exciting races, and then Skele, unfortunately, this will be the end of the tournament for you, but definitely had a really good run, and yeah, I'm proud of you, buddy.
thanks.
Don't worry. MM2 approves of your low safety and equipment percent, because this is perfect practice for pilot spoiler. Because he was like, I wouldn't send Skelly to like go get those heart containers as hype cave. I wouldn't send Skelly to go get
wouldn't have
that
had you get
bottle of
the-
the fairy.
I wouldn't have had you do that, but I said the reason I wouldn't have had you got the bottle out of the waterfall fairy is because I wouldn't have noticed it. So
Actually, that
Oh,
reminds me.
really?
That's another thing. That's another thing that kind of tilted me, because originally I was going to get the ferry after Ice Palace. But then I was like,
yeah.
I'm going to water walk to Hobo anyway. I might as well just get it now. And then, like, as soon as I started doing that, I remembered I'm going to death warp in like 30 seconds. Not
Yes,
30 seconds, but in a couple minutes. So
exact same
Yeah.
for me. I was like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice. I'm gonna have a fairy for this seed, and then right as I'm starting to take damage in Dark Cross, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get rid of this.
yeah, it kind of changed my whole route, because, like I said, I misread the pod key layout. I actually thought the cape and the sword were both on right side. So my plan all along was I was going to use that fairy for Fiddy. But then I was like, oh crap, I wasted the fairy. That means I have to get the cape from pod, which was actually free, but I didn't think it was. So that's why, yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of a mess. Whereas if I had just like stuck with my original plan, I feel like my route would have worked out way better.
Well, I mean, I did right side pod. Like you're saying, you should have skipped right side pod.
I feel like it might have been better just to get the sword
sword
of
and
Turtle Rock, but
Turtle
I don't
Rock?
know. Maybe not. Maybe it's fine to do right side anyway.
I don't think so.
I think it's fine to me. You get a key on right side, and like you would have had to like maybe drop down to Stalfo's basement or something, probably for enough keys if you didn't do that.
I don't know. I don't think you want to get the TR sword, because then you have to do Master Sword, Cold Stare, and Vitreous, and those are both slow compared to
Yeah.
Tempered. So I
I mean,
think,
Cold Stare is pretty fast because you got half magic.
Yeah,
like,
that
doesn't
is
make much
true.
difference.
but it's also like the swords are comparable time difference anyways. So I
Yeah.
think just having the safer sword is better anyways.
Yeah,
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 that's
I
probably
definitely
true.
think the pod sword is definitely worth. I mean, at some point I was thinking like, do I even get hobo sword? Because that seemed like maybe the slowest. But yeah, luckily
Yeah.
for a while I didn't even think of like just water walk from Ice Rod to Cave. But luckily I realized like, oh, that works perfectly. You get to dash to hobo and you don't have to go without a sword for like a really long time.
You also kind of needed it for Skull, I think. I'm not sure. Well, I guess you could delay mirror for a while if you want, but
Well, you can. Oh, I forgot that you can't even do skull without a sword. Like you
right,
literally
yeah.
can't. Okay, good thing I
Yeah.
didn't do that. Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, definitely the hobo sword was good.
Yeah. But yeah, GG's to the both of you. Any final thoughts from either of y'all before we close the show off?
Just thanks for the restream. GG's again. It's very fun to see Jamo succeeding so quickly, being so new to Rando. So it was a fun race, and good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thanks. GG again. And yeah, really excited to watch Andy versus Gamma and then get to race one of them. That'll be really cool, even though I think I got to execute much better than I did today to have any chance. But and yeah, thank you guys for the restream and the tracking and stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It was a really fun race. Yeah, and certainly best of luck for you, Jamo, moving forward versus either Andy or Gamma. Thanks so much, Jesse, for setting up and doing all the tracking for us. Obviously, as accurate as ever, and just being all around a great guy. Very nice job admitting the tournament so far. I think it's gone pretty well. And yeah, thank you so much, MM2. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cornos, for asking me to co-con this with you. Definitely been a great time to I don't know, hang out with friends and commentate great races. But yeah, thank you all for watching this episode of the SGLIVE 24 online Link to the Past randomizer tournament. We'll see you next time.
Bye.